Welcome to Teen Witch Workshop. I have created this workshop especially for teens, as you are the future of witchcraft, or the craft, as it is often known among witches. I'm here to guide you safely in what you really need to know to get you started upon your magical pathway. I've based your workshop on the real exercises and rituals which I have used to guide the teenage members of my coven. Most covens, a coven is a group of 3 or more witches who work together, have a strict rule in which they will only allow witches to join when they are 18 years or over. This isn't because they don't want you to have fun. There really are good reasons for this. As in the craft, we have a saying, know thyself. This means that to learn the magical arts, you need to know yourself exceptionally well. Witchcraft is a journey of self-discovery. To be able to work magic, the witch needs to call upon his or her strength of character. Magical energy has to come from somewhere, and that is partly from within you. As you already know, your teens are a time when you are discovering yourself and becoming your own person. Because of this time of transformation, your teens can be a perfect time to begin your magical pathway, as you have already begun the journey of self-discovery. However, as you already know, I'm sure, your teens are not always a smooth ride. It's for this reason that witchcraft is largely barred for the under 18s. So I believe that young teens should begin gently, that within your generation of teenagers there were born many of you who were much more spiritually advanced kids than my own generation. Some philosophers called these children indigo or crystal children. This is another case for breaking the mould and allowing teens to begin learning their craft before they are 18. There's so much that you can do to learn about the craft to prepare you for when you are older, when you are ready to perhaps get stuck into the deeper stuff. So with this in mind, we're going to be working together on exercises and spells which are fun, empowering, and will give you a great beginning to what I hope will become for you a lifelong journey on the beautiful, poetic, life-enhancing and privileged pathway of the witch. So let's take your first steps together on your moonlit pathway, where we will touch moonlight, taste freedom, and hear the change of the seasons upon the wind. Nothing can get you closer to nature than the craft. Here are some tips on using this recording. I will guide you through all the exercises with my voice. It's a good idea to read the booklet which accompanies the recording, as it is there to enhance the work we will be doing together. You set the pace of this workshop, as it comes in bite-sized sections, allowing you to complete each section individually before you go on to the next one. This means that you can take it step by step and complete each task over a few days, weeks, or even months. Although some of you will want to have a complete experience and work through the workshop in an evening or an afternoon, for example. Whether you are alone or with friends, take each section that comes at a speed that suits you. Just before we begin properly, there are 2 watchwords in the craft which are always said together. They are reverence and mirth. This means that whatever you do in the craft, you should approach it with respect, but at the same time don't forget to have fun. The same applies to all the work set out in this workshop. On that note, it really is time to begin. This is probably the part of the recording that you are most likely to skip. I agree that the warning label on magic doesn't sound the most thrilling part. You may be thinking that on top of school rules and home rules that it's going to be very uncool to have rules for magic too. After all, isn't magic supposed to be exciting? Didn't I just say that on this journey together we would taste freedom? Don't worry, I'm not about to spoil all the fun. However, before you walk through that deeply enticing door marked magic, Remember that every witch worth her sea salt is properly prepared before their magic making. It's just a case of using a bit of common sense. And yes, magic is fun. Magic really does work, and magic can change your life. So why then do you need to be careful? Magic is a natural force which belongs to all of us, just the same that the air that we breathe is natural and is there for everyone. However, magic is there for us to be used responsibly. Magic happens all by itself, every day, without us having to do anything. It is the moon causing the sea's tides, the colour of your eyes, the stars in the night sky, and the wish you made on your birthday cake when blowing out the candles. Making use of magic has been described as the science of the control of the secret forces of nature. By using magic, we are actively bending the natural tides of the universe to shape our own reality. Now it's all starting to sound a little bit more serious, isn't it? Life and the workings of the universe are going to move along nicely without us doing anything. The fun part is that we do have a choice in shaping at least some of our lives with the use of magic. It gives us the power to change things according to our will. The reason we need to work with this force responsibly is that it always has consequences. Before you do any magic, you need to think through what you are asking to happen. If it's going to harm anyone or put a stopper on their free will in any way, shape or form, just don't do it. Here's the reason why. All witches are pretty much in agreement about this. We have but one law known as the witch's rede, which says, "Do what thou wilt and harm it none." This is really a way of saying in your everyday life and magically, you can do whatever you want as long as you don't harm anyone. And anyone includes you too. Harm not only includes physically hurting someone, but verbally and emotionally too. So the witch's rede is always a good reminder to have before you attempt any spells. Never perform a spell just for the sake of it, because it seems an exciting thing to do. It's good to wait until you have a real need for a certain spell. While we're talking about spells and their consequences, I'm sure you've heard of the old saying, "Be careful what you wish for, as it may come true." This saying is especially true when making magic. Everyone who uses magic, be they witches, shamans, druids, ritual magicians, or any other magical people, generally tend to agree on something called the threefold law. This means that whatever magic you send out, it will return on you, rather like a magical boomerang, 3 times as powerful as you first sent it out. For example, if you decided to hex someone, sooner or later you would fall fate to something 3 times as nasty as your victim got it in the first place. It kind of puts you off hexing, cursing, or anything remotely darkish, doesn't it? Really, the threefold law means the same as what comes around, goes around. Don't be put off by my warning label. As long as you have good intentions and behave thoughtfully and responsibly, making magic should be a wonderful experience that empowers your life and makes it more magical. Unlike a lot of spiritual pathways, witches generally believe that because we live physical lives and belong to an earthly world, we can enjoy all the physical things that our world has to offer. That can mean possessions, enjoying our natural world, and also being comfortable in our own bodies. A witch knows that his or her body is a gift from the god and goddess. To keep your body well tended, shining, alive and healthy is to recognise that your body is a sacred part of your inner power. Your body is an outer reflection of your inner state. A witch also knows that his or her body is a fragment of the body of the god and goddess. So if you looked after your body well, that is a way of honouring the divine in every respect. Teen Witch Workshop includes a simple ritual. Most of the work we will be doing together is about preparing for a ritual, the ritual itself and what happens afterwards. A ritual is a special time when a witch seeks to be in the presence of their gods, goddesses, elementals, and all the forces of nature to enter a time of peace and sanctity and a haven from our busy everyday lives. It's a time when magic is worked, a time to recharge your spiritual batteries. It is a special time and different from our everyday routines. We mark this difference by making every effort to come properly prepared. Getting ready for a ritual is as important as the ritual itself, as it marks the transition of when we step out of our everyday lives and prepares our mind and body for a sacred time. We prepare ourselves by first taking a bath or shower. You can use herbs or flowers which are known to have magical properties. You can also use sea salt in your bath, as it is a good cleanser before magical work. It is best to refer to the booklet for this part of the workshop. Here I've listed the most commonly available herbs and how to use them. These can be found easily in your local supermarket, your garden or health food shop. For rituals, a witch also wears clothes that are kept especially for your magic making and are never used for anything else. You can either make yourself a robe or keep a dress for the girls, kilt or trousers for the guys to wear only for magic. Robes are worn by either male or female witches, but it isn't compulsory to wear one. Some witches work magic naked, and there is a special term, working skyclad, to describe this. If you do choose to work skyclad, make sure you have some privacy when you do this. Many witches also wear circlets in their hair. These are like circular wreaths of foliage and or flowers woven together. They usually signify the time of year that your ritual is honouring. For example, you may wear hawthorn blossom to celebrate Beltane, which is at the end of April when the hawthorn flowers. You can wear holly and ivy at the midwinter solstice, and so on. Again, you'll need to look at the booklet for more details. Whilst you're having your bath or shower before your ritual, it is also just as important to get your mind in the right gear too. This means focusing. Try not to let everyday thoughts creep in, and instead concentrate only on your ritual ahead and what you would like to achieve or fulfill in this special time. Don't worry though if your mind wanders to mundane things like geography homework and who you currently have the hots for. It does take practice. You may like to pause the recording here to go and prepare for your ritual. Welcome back. Now that you are well and truly pampered, beautified, glittered, focused and clean, it's time to begin your ritual and open the door marked magic. As well as being ready in body, it is just as important to get in the right frame of mind. Your circle casting, spell working, and any other magic that you will ever do relies on your imagination. This is because although magic is all around us, even within us, it also freely flows to another realm. Your imagination, where anything can happen, is your bridge to the other realms. It is your vital connection. In the accompanying booklet, you will find details on how to prepare a space for a ritual and also what you will need on your altar. In this section, you should have both of those things ready. However, if you're working through this recording in separate sections over a longer period of time, this is absolutely fine. But whatever stage you're at now, either sit in the centre of your sacred space on the floor and use a rug or cushion if you need to get comfortable. If you are not doing this exercise as part of a ritual, find a chair, lie down on a bed or any place where you know that you can be relaxed and not easily disturbed. All you need to do now is listen to my voice and I will guide you through the exercise. Once you are comfortable, take a few deep breaths. drop your shoulders and close your eyes. Imagine that all your problems and everything that makes up your everyday life, you are now wearing in a cloak around your shoulders. Once you feel relaxed, imagine that this heavy cloak now slips off your shoulders and drops to the floor. Feel yourself becoming lighter, having discarded your everyday life which can weigh you down. Before you begin any type of magic, it is really important to protect yourself. When we work magic, we open ourselves up to the other worlds. You may not be able to see it, but when you begin magical work, you and your cast circle will emit a beautiful light out into the ether. This light, by its very nature, attracts attention. It's a bit like seeing a row of houses at night and all of them have their lights out and are dark, except one, yours. If you don't protect yourself during magic, you can attract all the wrong energies. It would be like sitting in your house with the lights on and the front door wide open. This would mean that anyone, invited or not, could walk in your front door. You wouldn't do that in everyday life, so don't do it when working your craft. Here's a simple visualization to make sure that you're always protected. Keeping your eyes closed, imagine a neon blue ribbon begins to gently wind itself around you, beginning at your feet clockwise. The stronger and more vivid your visualization, the better. Make the ribbon a really bright, almost electric blue, with light pouring from it and surrounding you. Blue is the colour of psychic protection. Imagine the blue ribbon of light winding itself around you, spiralling its way around your knees, moving upward to your thighs. Imagine it winding its way around your lower torso and then moving up to your arms and chest. See it spiraling around your neck and lastly your head. Once your ribbon of protection is around your head, imagine tying it in a tight knot to complete your protection visualization. Good work. At the end of your ritual, simply reverse the visualization. You are now going to ask the god and goddess to bless your circle, help with your magical work, and protect you. Visualize the figures of how you imagine the god and goddess to appear in your mind. When I do this, I see the Lord and Lady of the Woods as representations of the deities. I visualize them as a beautiful couple dressed in flowing cloaks, carrying staffs, and wearing crowns of woodland flowers and foliage. They are always smiling and gentle, and there is no doubt that they belong to the woods. They always greet me with a kiss and an embrace. I then ask them to bless and aid my work and keep me protected, and anyone else who is working with me on that occasion. However, you may see your deities in the form of a Greek goddess and god, Northern, Aborigine, Slavic, Inuit, Native American, or European, to name but a few. The choice is yours. If you are unsure what description your god and goddess appear as, then the best thing I've found is always to ask them yourself. Simply ask that the god and goddess who you are with make themselves known. Close your eyes and see what your imagination comes up with. You may even use my image of the Lord and Lady of the Woods, or you may see the god and goddess quite differently. However you picture them, I'll leave you for a few moments to visualize your god and goddess. Greet them and ask for their blessing, aid and protection upon your work. It is fine to either say this in your head or out loud, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Casting a circle can be quite a complex business. It can take time and use lots of tools which you may not already have at this stage along your witch's pathway when you're just starting out. Here's a magic circle which is virtually instant and extremely versatile. I use it quite often when I am working magic in my garden, and I may be overlooked by others so that I don't attract attention to myself. If you liken a witch's circle to a raincoat, we could say that casting a traditional circle with all the tools and invocations would be like an expensive Burberry raincoat, fully lined, waxed, belted and buttoned with deep pockets galore. Casting my instant version, and by the way it's totally portable, is like a fold-away pack-a-mac. The Burberry and the pack-a-mac both do the same job, keeping you dry, and are both fit for purpose. One day you'll learn the Burberry method, but for now the pack-a-mac version is perfectly fit for what we need it for. The only tool you will need is your imagination. If you can, you'll need to face north. Directions are very important in witchcraft. North is home to the pole star, and we often call this direction the magnetic north. In the craft, north is considered the most sacred direction and is also where your altar should be. See the accompanying booklet for lots of tips on how to set up your witch's altar. Beginning your visualization, sit or stand facing north. Close your eyes and imagine a strong, vibrant, white ribbon of light swirling around you in a clockwise direction. The more vibrantly you can picture this, the more powerful a circle you will have. See in your mind's eye your white light surrounding you at a great speed, spinning the light continuously. It goes at such a speed that it may hum as it etches its circle in glorious white light around you. Picture your beautiful white light so vividly that little white sparks and silver stars shoot and fall up and below your flowing circle of light. Any little details of your own that you can add to your visualization will all add to your circle's power and intensity. When visualizing, it is normal to see things appearing in the images that you see that you had not seen first of all. If this happens to you, it is just a sign indicating that you are on the right track and in touch with the divine that you are working with. The light that you are concentrating on acts as both a protective circle which nothing uninvited may cross, and also a container within which your spells and other magical work that you may do are held within, and because of this they can build power. Visualize your circle of light beginning in the north and encircling you completely and drawing all the way around back to the north point again. For a few moments, concentrate all your energy into this mental picture. Now say after me. Make this circle real. God and Goddess seal. My circle of power, cast at this magical hour. Blessed be. Now you may open your eyes. You may feel the difference in energy as you now sit in your own witch's circle. Sit for a few moments and enjoy the magical energy. Next, we move on to welcoming the elementals into your circle. You're going to meet the elemental kings and their host of elementals. Bringing the elementals into your magic is one of the most important ingredients to your magical pathway. Witches work with nature. For your magic to be dynamic, you require not only your will, but also the assistance of the beings that are the consciousness of the forces of nature. This comes in the form of the god and goddess. However, to work with the very consciousness of every living thing, you will need the help of the elementals. Meeting the elementals puts you firmly on the path of a journey that may last a lifetime. Once the elementals have entered your life, you will find that your relationship with nature may take on a new dimension. By inviting the elementals to enter your magic circle, you are also inviting them not only into your magical life, but every aspect of your daily life. This is because we live on planet Earth. Even if you live in a city and feel divorced from nature, you can still look up at the sky, feel the rain on your face, the breeze in your hair, and appreciate flowers in a vase. By meeting the elementals, you will open the door to begin experiencing the spiritual dimension of nature. Next time you see a spider's web, take a few moments to stop and study it. Follow the gossamer spiral that the spider has spun, and notice how it makes you feel. For this exercise, it is good to face the direction of the elemental that you are invoking. When I use the word invoking, it means that we are going to call a deity, or in this case, an elemental, into your circle. There are 5 elements in witchcraft. They are air, fire, water, earth, and ether. Ether comes from the word ethereal and means the celestial or spiritual realms. This means that witches not only recognize the spiritual forces of the natural world, but the other worlds too. Each element has its own direction. Air belongs to the east, fire lies in the south, water dwells in the west, and earth is anchored in the north. In a ritual, you always invite the elementals after casting your circle. Again, you will need to call upon your imagination. Although words are always spoken to invite the elementals, it is the visualization that is the real power behind how successful you are in bringing them into your circle. Let's begin by standing facing east. Close your eyes and imagine standing before you the elemental king of air. His name is Urius, and he is a pale young man with light-coloured hair which flows to his shoulders in the fresh breeze. He is dressed in a cloak of sky blue, which billows out in the gusting breeze. He is holding a shining silver sword, which is the pagan symbol of air. Concentrate on picturing him clearly in your mind's eye. Once you have that image before you, now is the time to visualize his elementals. From within the voluminous folds of his sky blue cloak, a host of winged fairies flutter out surrounding Urius. These fae are known as the sylphs of air. Now you are going to invite the sylph fairies and the element of air into your circle. Say after me, I call upon the guardians of the East, the sylphs of air. We invite and invoke you. By the whispering wind, we call upon you to commune with us and protect our right. So mote it be. Upon your words, imagine the host of sylph fairies swooping into your circle, carried on a gust of wind. Now your circle is infused with the magic of air. Step around a few paces now to face south. Close your eyes once more and imagine standing before you the elemental king of fire. His name is Notus, and he appears as a man in his late 20s or 30s. He is dressed in a dramatic scarlet velvet cloak and wears striking gold shining armour. He is carrying a spear, and his hair is a pure golden blonde. Once he is crystal clear in your mind, you can picture his elementals. In a huge sudden outburst of fire, the material of his cloak reveals vibrant sparks, like that of a firework display being set off. They issue from the folds of the flames around his great cloak. After a few seconds, you can see that the sparks are not merely sparks, but elemental beings in the form of sparks. They dance as if they belong to a bonfire, and then morph into whirls and wisps of spiraling smoke dancing around Notus. They are known as the salamanders of fire. Invite the salamander elementals into your circle. Repeat after me. I call upon the guardians of the south, the salamanders of the flickering fire. We enchant and invoke you. By the summer's warmth, we call upon you to commune with us and protect our right. So mote it be. Your circle is now energized with the element of fire. Move on once more to face the west. Close your eyes again and remember to relax. Imagine the elemental king of water in front of you. His name is Zephyrus, and he appears as a middle-aged man. You will not be surprised to see him in a dripping wet sea green cloak. Long leathery strips of seaweed cling to his cloak, which never dries out. His hair is the russet red of an autumn apple, and his beard is of the same and glistens with sea salt. He looks at you with sea green eyes and holds up a silver cup, the pagan symbol of water. His cloak ripples as if it is under water. Imagine his elementals coming from beneath the rippling cloak. An enchantingly beautiful, naked young woman with exceptionally long dark hair, dripping wet, swims towards you. She sings a haunting melody and is a river elemental, known as an undine. She is the same height as a human woman, but you can tell she is not of our world, as her eyes are slanted bewitchingly upwards, like that of an elf. It is time to invite the undine elemental into your circle. Say after me: I call upon the guardians of the West, the undines of the shimmering water. We beseech and invoke you. By the sparkling rain, we call upon you to commune with us and protect our right. So mote it be. Your circle is now sparkling with the element of water and is almost complete. Lastly, move a few paces to face the north of your circle. Close your eyes again and imagine before you the elemental king of earth. His name is Boreas, and he appears as a very old man with iron grey hair streaked with black. He wears a heavy black cloak and he has a rugged appearance. In his hands he holds a wooden pentacle with a pentagram pyrographed onto a disc of wood. A pentagram is a 5-pointed star, and a disc of wood is a pagan symbol of earth. Boreas gives his cloak a flick of the wrist, revealing a gnome who stands at 3 feet tall. The gnome is how everyone imagines him, with a long beard trailing down to the ground, a pointy red hat, and he is as stout as he is tall. As he walks towards your circle, it is time to invite him in. Say after me: I call upon the guardians of the north, the gnomes of the fertile earth. We call and invoke you. By the seed sower and the moon rise, by the earth that is her body. We call upon you to commune with us and protect our right. So mote it be. Your circle now has a solid foundation of the element of earth. Now, to complete your circle casting, please repeat after me. Of all the elements far and near, witness, bless, and be present here. Hail and welcome. Beautiful work. Your circle is now cast and you're between the worlds, not of this world or the next, but at the special place where the witch honours his or her gods and works magic. Now is the time to begin your magical work. Raising the power has to be the most creative part of any ritual. Witches raise power to give what we call the work of a ritual. By work we mean meditations, spells, and healing work, etc., to give our rites an extra boost of energy. By raising the power, we concentrate all magical energy, as the circle is a container to raise power in. And by this stage of the ritual, we have the god, goddess, and elemental power to lend extra fuel. There are lots of ways of raising the power. We'll explore one of them here. Chanting is one of the traditional ways that witches can do this. Once we begin to chant, the words often seem to lose their meaning in our minds. At this stage, we can say the words automatically, without concentrating, and when this happens, that power is raised most effectively. While you chant, you also need to visualize. While you are chanting, you need to imagine a spiral of light beginning to grow in the center of the circle. As your chanting progresses, the spiral of light winds its way higher and higher in your circle, Once your chanting reaches a peak, release the light and let it whoosh sky high through your roof, up into the sky, reaching the stars and the cosmos. Chanting begins quietly and slowly, and then gathering momentum, it gradually gets louder and faster until a climax is reached and you're ready to release it. Chanting can be creative. Don't be afraid to deviate from the original words if you feel inspired. Instead of chanting, you may want to sing the words, giggle, experiment with sounds in the words, and repeat particular words over and over. It's okay to enter your chanting creatively, and it's not the way you chant that's important, but the energy raised at the end of it. So feel free to go with the flow and let yourself go. I'm going to chant along with you and set the pace and tone, but feel free to wander with your voice. If you're doing this with friends, now is the time to form a circle, facing the centre and holding hands. Standing is usually the best position so that your body allows a free flow of energy. If you're working by yourself, stand wherever you would like to within your circle. We're going to use a popular chant used by witches and one used a lot in my coven. I've also chosen this one because it's easy to remember. The chant goes like this: Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. I'll say it one more time so you can memorize it. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Now that you're ready, let's begin our chanting. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Earth sight, which is right, merry meet, enjoy tonight. Now open your eyes. If you are in a group of friends, then drop your hands. Now you have newly raised energy. It's the perfect time to honour the god and goddess, as your consciousness is closer to them than before you chanted. We are going to honour the star goddess Arianrod. I have chosen her because stars are universal. Everyone from any culture or country sees them, and it is easy to see how stars can be connected to magic, as they seem such magical things in themselves. We are going to meditate on the star goddess, but don't be put off by the word meditate. In paganism, we call this kind of meditation a path working, and it simply means listening to my words, which will take you on a mental journey of a story which will unfold in pictures in your mind. So firstly, find a comfortable place in your circle and either sit or lie down. You may want to use a cushion or lie on a blanket so that you are comfortable enough to relax and enjoy the path working. So closing your eyes, see yourself in a clearing in woodland. The ground is covered in fallen leaves. It is a warm, balmy night, and you sit on a tree stump in a circle of very tall and mature trees. Around you are a circumference of candle torches staked into the ground. A magical soft glow from the candles bathes your circle. You feel safe and relaxed as you listen to the secret sounds of the woodland at night. There is a sound of an owl hooting from the top of an ancient oak tree. Moths hover haphazardly around the candle flames, and you hear rustles in the treetops and in the undergrowth of woodland creatures going about their nocturnal lives. Hearing the owl hoot loudly again, you look upwards. The most magical sight greets your eyes. A beautiful white chariot, pulled by 2 snow-white horses, descends from the treetops. The chariot lands gently within your circle of light. No invitation is necessary. You instinctively know that you are meant to get into the chariot. You notice that the bridles and the reins on the horses are made from real interlinked stars. The chariot glows subtly with a celestial hue of starlight. As you board the chariot, you sit down on a white velvet seat. Almost immediately, the chariot begins to gently rise up from the ground and ascends up through the canopy of trees into the night sky, which is beset with bright stars. The horses seem to know where they are going as the starlit chariot rides higher and higher into the heavens. Looking down, you see that far below you is the earth, and you experience a faraway feeling. Soon, your attention is drawn to the sparkling pole star, shining brighter than you have ever seen it before. Soon you will enter Arianrod's court. Around the circumference of the pole star is a diadem of stars, which are known as the circumpolar stars. Now, without warning, the chariot suddenly tips to one side, and you grab onto the seat to keep your balance. Like a fairground ride, the chariot swoops, and you realize that you're riding in a spiral, faster and faster in an anti-clockwise direction. As you hold on with both hands, you feel surprisingly safe and even exhilarated, and know that you can enjoy the ride for what it is. The spiraling chariot circles become smaller and smaller, till you are suddenly almost blinded by a burst of pure starlight. Everything is confusion for a couple of seconds, and you feel disorientated. There is only starlight. You blink a few times, trying to figure out where you are. Like dust specks in sunlight, the light begins to disperse as thousands of speckles of starlight shimmer before your eyes. You blink again, and as the star particles settle, you realize that you are in a crystal castle, the castle of Arianrod. The chariot has come to rest in an enormous outer court, where the bejeweled sky of stars is the ceiling. Every wall is made of quartz crystal, and starlight emanates from every surface. The sight is enough to take your breath away. The 2 white horses begin to relax after their journey and stretch their necks and nuzzle one another affectionately. You see before you a tall throne made out of jagged quartz crystals with its own aura of starlight. Seated upon the throne on a white velvet cushion sits the star goddess, Queen Arianrod herself. You are transfixed by her presence as you step from the chariot to get closer to her. She is taller than any human woman, and she wears a long dress made from stars of the night sky, sewn by a thread of moonlight. She wears a cloak of stars which trails down to her slippered feet. Upon her head rests a crown of sparkling constellations, which is simply woven into her jet black hair. Your attention is drawn to her exquisitely beautiful face, from where she smiles kindly and encourages you to walk up to her. Here I'm going to leave you for just a few moments in secret counsel with Arianrod, for the words of the goddess are between you and her only. She wants to tell you things about yourself, your life, your past and your future. Secrets of the universe may be made known to you. Take note of what you are told, as you can use this knowledge to enrich your life. Take time to listen. Listen not with your ears, but with your inner being. Relax into time with your goddess, and I will now leave you for a few moments. Now it's time to return home. You board the starry chariot, and the horses raise their heads, ready for the journey. There is a burst of blinding white light, and through the speckles of starlight, you see that you are journeying again away from the pole star of Arianrod's castle. The horses are pulling your chariot once more at breakneck speed through the starlit sky in a clockwise spiral towards the earth. Before you know it, the woodland treetops come into view, and the chariot slows to a gentle gliding, descending dreamily into the circle of trees in the woodland copse below. The chariot softly lands, and you step out into the wood, knowing that you may never forget this encounter. The sun will soon be up as you sit down on the tree stump. You sit quietly for a few moments to recollect your thoughts on the experience. You may now open your eyes and take a minute or two to adjust to reality once again. If you are working with friends, you may like to share with one another significant moments in your pathworking journey. Whether you are working alone or with others, writing down memorable high points of your pathworking after the ritual will help you to remember them for always. Here are spells to get you started using candle and cord magic, two simple but extremely effective spell work methods. Before you get started on this section, you'll need to take a look at the accompanying booklet just to make sure you have the right colour candle or cord for your spells. Working spells is so much fun and will always give you a buzz. It is something that never wears off, however many years you've been doing it. There has to be something very exciting and empowering about taking control of your own destiny. You can also work spells for your friends and family with their permission. Spells come in all shapes and sizes, but they all have one thing in common. The more you prepare for spells and the more effort you put into them, the better your result will be. Before we begin, just a little word of warning. Magic really works. You may think that is a bit of a strange warning, but here's the reason. Magic always has consequences. And it's important to think through what you will change in your life and who it will affect. One of the golden rules of spellcraft is to be very careful how you word your spell. Be ever mindful that the universe will usually give you exactly what you ask for. As an example, the most common mistake is in money spells, when a person asks for a certain amount of money. Before they know it, their request is answered, and they have a nice cheque for a lump sum in their hands. What they don't usually consider is how the money will get to them. This could mean that a relative dies unexpectedly and leaves them a sum in their will, or the person themselves has an accident and receives the money as compensation. Neither are desirable outcomes. That is why, when working magic, we should cover all our bases and think things through. Most witches end their spells with a binding charm, which goes as follows. By all the power of 3 times 3, this spell bound around shall be, to cause no harm nor return on me, as I do will, so mote it be. You can think of this as a kind of insurance policy on every spell that you cast. Just one more thing, spells are really great fun, but don't try to do more than one at a time. It's easy to get carried away with the excitement, especially when you're just starting out. But here's the thing, most often each spell is given 1 lunar month to come to fruition. If you are doing more than 1 or 2 a month, then it's like juggling a dozen eggs all at once. Some are bound to get smashed because there's just too much to concentrate on. The same applies to magic, where less is definitely more. Spell 1, the Invisibility Cloak. This spell bends the rule that magic should be done sparingly. You could do this one every day and it would work fine. There are no tools needed for this except your imagination. Now, before you get excited, this spell doesn't actually make you invisible, but as good as. It just means that no one will notice you. If you wanted to work a ritual outside with your friends, for example, this spell is a perfect one to use. It ensures that dog walkers will take another path at that time. Children decide to ride their bikes elsewhere, and people generally forget to see what is right under their noses. Here goes then. If you are with friends, then stand in a circle holding hands. If you are alone, simply stand in the place you need to be invisible. Close your eyes and imagine that all around you is a thick mist. Feel as if you are in a safe, domed tent, but outside swirls a dense and impenetrable fog. Take a few moments with your visualization and make sure that it is as strong and as clear in your mind's eye as possible. Keeping that image in your mind, say the following. If you're in a group, it's fun to say it all together and adds extra power to the spell. Nyx, mistress of our magic night. Keep ourselves from others' sight. Let us meld with the trees around. Let no one but us hear a sound. Shroud of mist, envelop our space. Invisible to all is our magic place. So mote it be. When you have finished what you have been doing and no longer need to be unseen, once again use visualization to dispel the mist and say the following. Nyx, mistress of our magic night. Dispel the mist from our sight. Once again in the world we dwell. Let this end our magic spell. So mote it be. Simply imagine the fog you have created disappearing. Spell 2. Find me love. What teen witch workshop would be without a love spell? So here it is, and it works. I've done it many years ago. The only drawback is that you shouldn't use it to attract anyone in particular. Otherwise, you are influencing someone else's free will, which is not recommended in magic. If in doubt when planning spells, always consider whether you would like this spell cast on you without your knowledge. And there is your answer. In this spell, you are asking for love to come to you and for the universe to decide who it should be. You will need a pink candle which has been anointed. See your booklet for this. Cast this spell on a new or full moon and any time in between this phase, which is known as a waxing moon. Take the pink candle and with a pin or needle carve the word love and your name into the wax. When you've done this, place the candle into a safe candle holder and light it. Now say after me. I call upon the goddess Venus to assist me in this love spell. True love is my heart's desire. Bring to me by this flame of fire. So mote it be. Now is the time to visualize clearly the outcome of this spell. See yourself happy and with love in your life. Imagine scenarios, for example, phoning your friends to tell them of your new love. Imagine receiving text from your love interest, saying loving and adoring things to you. As well as receiving love, imagine also returning it. Imagine that you feel loved, cherished and special. Imagine writing a love letter or texting your newfound love with fond words. Try to imagine all these things and any more that you feel inspired to try on for size as possible futures. Holding on to this wonderful feeling of being loved, now say after me. Venus, bring to me love that is meant to be. My perfect love will find me soon within a month of this phase of moon. Blessed be. By all the power of 3 times 3, this spell bound around shall be, to cause no harm, nor return on me, as I do will, so mote it be. Blow out your candle now. Over the next month, light the candle at the same time every day for a few minutes, each time, all the time concentrating on your wish. You can also say the words of the spell again to strengthen the spell. At the end of the lunar month, and when your candle has burnt down, your new love should have made themselves known to you. If they haven't, then perform the spell once more. Spell 3. Keep me safe. This is a spell to stop malicious gossip and protect you from someone who wishes you ill. You will need a handful of stinging nettles, make sure you pick them with rubber gloves on, or a nettle tea bag, a handful of salt, a clove of garlic, an anointed white candle, an anointed black candle. This spell should be performed on a waning moon. There are very few occasions where you can reasonably cast magic with someone in particular in mind. This is one of them. Although they may have harmed you, if not physically then emotionally, you are not doing this spell to harm them back in any way. This spell is to protect you, and that's allowed. If you have picked nettles, throw them into a pan of boiling water. If you have brought nettle tea bags, simply put one in a bowl and pour boiling water onto it. After 10 minutes, either discard the tea bag or strain the nettles through a sieve or colander, saving the nettle water. Crush your garlic cloves with a pestle and mortar or a garlic crusher. Add the garlic to the nettle brew. Finally, add a handful of salt to the potion. Take the white candle and carve into wax the word protection. Take the black candle and carve the words stay away. Place the candles into a safe holder and say after me. Let, and the name of the person, never enter my private space. Protect me in the name of the moon goddess Artemis. So mote it be. Of all the power of 3 times 3, this spell bound around shall be, to cause no harm, nor return on me, as I do will. So mote it be. Visualize the person leaving you alone. Imagine the relief you will feel when they are no longer bothering you. Now visualize a silver light of protection around yourself. Imagine this same light around anyone or anything that needs protecting. This may be your home, school, locker, bedroom, or where you sit in your classroom. To complete the spell, tip the nettle potion in an empty spray bottle or water bottle when it has cooled. The potion can be sprinkled or sprayed anywhere discreetly where you feel at risk and need protection. You can even spray it around your school locker to stop it being vandalized. While you distribute the potion, think all the while of the silver light and being protected. Over the next month, light the candles for a few minutes each day until they are burnt down. A long time ago, I made this spell up when a neighbour was harassing me and my family. From the day that I cast the spell, she never came beyond my garden gate again, where I had sprinkled the potion to keep her away. I also never heard any more rumours about me either. Now's the time in the ritual where you show your appreciation for the god and goddess. As per the notes in the booklet, you should have your ritual cakes and goblet of apple juice at the ready. If you are in a group, hold hands in your circle. Nominate 2 people, one to hold the plate of cakes and the other to hold the goblet. Everyone should now visualize the food and juice being bathed in a wonderful, glowing white light. Now say after me, Blessed Goddess and God, the witch's path we have trod. Now we seek to honour thee with food that blessed be. With this juice and sweet cake, of consecrated food we do partake. Two worlds are one within this rite. On this most enchanted night. Blessed be. The plate of cakes and goblet of juice are then passed in a clockwise direction, or deersill as we call it in the craft. Everyone takes a cake and a sip of juice. When they are passed to you, say, Blessed be, to the person who gives it to you. When passing it on, again say also, Blessed be. When someone in a ritual says Blessed be to you, it is always followed with a kiss on both cheeks. From my experience in a coven, this part of the rite also tends to get a bit giggly. That's okay. Laughter dissipates energy which has been built up during the ritual, so go ahead and have a good giggle. Now we are drawing to the end of your ritual and magical work. It is really important to bring yourself back down to earth and be back in everyday life. Either sitting or standing, close your eyes. As you did before we cast your magic circle, imagine the god and goddess, how you visualized them at the beginning of the ritual. Thank them for their presence in your ritual and for helping you and your magical work. Imagine kissing them both goodbye and embracing them in a fond farewell. See them walk out of your circle. Now face the east point in your circle. We're going to banish the elemental quarters and dissolve your magic circle. Visualize the elemental king Urius and his fluttering winged sylph fairies. See them departing your circle. Now say after me, Guardians of the East, Urius and sylphs of air, we give blessings for your presence here today. May you now return to your realms. Blessed be. Move around your circle a couple of paces to the south point. Again, visualize the elemental king. This time it is Notus and his energetic salamander flamed fae. See them departing your circle and say after me, Guardians of the South, Notus and salamanders of fire, we give blessings for your presence here today. May you now return to your realms. Blessed be. Move to face the west in your circle. Visualize the elemental king Zephyrus and his undines. See them departing your circle and say, Guardians of the West, Zephyrus and undines of water, we give blessings for your presence here today. May you now return to your realms. Blessed be. Lastly, step around to face north. Visualize the elemental king Boreas and his gnomes leaving your circle. Say after me, Guardians of the North, Boreas and gnomes of the earth, we give blessings for your presence here today. May you now return to your realms. Blessed be. Last of all, sit or stand in the centre of your circle and imagine the strong and vibrant ribbon of white light which you use to cast your circle, dropping to the ground and dissolving into the earth or floor. Your circle is now dissolved and your ritual ended. It is always a good idea to make sure you are properly grounded by performing an earthing exercise. A fun one to do together is clapping your hands and stamping your feet. Try this now and notice as well how different it feels. Now all that's left to do is have a midnight feast and chill out. Witches always have a feast after working magic, as food grounds you. So go ahead and have a party. I hope you've enjoyed this Teen Witch workshop. In the accompanying booklet there are also fun projects to do, such as making your witch's Book of Shadows, which is a magical journal, and also some more spells for you to try. There is tips on creating an altar too. I wish you lots of magical times on your witch's pathway, and I'll say goodbye with a traditional witch's farewell. Merry meet and merry part, and may we merry meet again. Blessed be.